manager of the Red Sox, John Farrell, joins us live. A nice tribute last night, and talking to Terry Francona, it meant a lot to him that they included the other former players and coaches and staff who were coming back to Fenway. He wasn't the only former Red Sox here last night.
No, true, Tom. I think it was a touch of class the way they presented it, and much as we know Tito, it's never solely about him. The people that he shared many of those experiences are now with him with the Indians, also included on that highlight film.
You talk a little about the relationship over the years and what he has meant to you and allowing you to sort of be here as the pitching coach and then ultimately to become the manager you are now.
Well, clearly, he's provided personal opportunity to come in and join him here for the 4 years before, going up to Toronto. But going back to being teammates back in the late 80s over in Cleveland, having an opportunity to work out with him many off seasons down in Tucson, Arizona in preparation for spring training, we were more than teammates. We became very good friends, I think, because of the way we view the game, how we feel like it should be played, some of the relationships inside it, not only just he and I, but the many people that we've come across. And I think when you share those views, I think a lot of times that makes for a natural working relationship that unfolded here, and the experience of 4 years and the success that we enjoyed together, but certainly no one can take away from the 8-year run and a very successful one that he had with the Red Sox.
All right, to the news tonight, plenty of roster moves. We'll run through them here individually. First and foremost, the two guys put on the DL, Middlebrooks and Victorino. I know with Victorino, you tried as long as you could to make it a day-to-day thing. When did the decision come down that you had to put him on the DL?
You know, Tom, probably when we took him out of the game in Chicago, that was the third time now that we took him out of games, gave him 2-3 days down, kind of try to get over some of the back spasms and the hamstring issues that he had been dealing with. I think once that third time came through, it became more clear at that point that this needed some prolonged time and treatment. And more importantly, I think to take it off Shane's mind, because every time that he would come in, or every day he'd come into the ballpark, hoping that this was the day that he'd turn the corner to get back on the field. There's nobody who wants to be on the field more than Shane does. And believe me, we want him out there. But just physically, I think all agree that the 15-day DL is needed. So hopefully we can put this behind him, and when he does rejoin us, it's for the remainder of the year.
Middlebrooks injured himself in that last at-bat in Chicago, is that right?
He did. He felt a little bit of an awkward pinching sensation, a straining sensation on that last ground ball that he hit the third base and going down the line, but felt like he was capable of going before yesterday's game with the treatment he received prior to game. But it became clear throughout the course of that first half of the game that it began to tighten more on him. The two at-bats clearly showed that. So then when the MRI was revealing the inflammation here today, and the fact that we're a little bit shorthanded, going with an extra reliever right now, it gives us just the three guys on the bench. We felt like this was the time to make it, put him on the DL. We didn't feel like he was going to be available for another 5 to 7 days at a minimum. So, again, just to take it out of his hands and put it solely on the medical staff here to get him right.
Obviously, Will Middlebrooks is on the DL because he's injured. But when a young player is struggling as he is right now at the plate, can a little time away from the pressure of trying to perform every day, can that help a young player get back on track?
It may, but I will say at the same time, despite some of the inconsistencies that Will was experiencing, we felt like he was really starting to come together and things were starting to, be more productive. The at-bats seemed to be becoming a little bit more consistent. You can't look at the last three at-bats because they were affected by the final swing over in Chicago, but his production late in the game, the extra base hits were there. He was driving the ball when he did square some pitches up. I think he's hit into some defensive coverage, and not to make excuses by any means, but we felt like over the last probably 2-3 weeks, things were starting to turn the corner for him. We weren't going to run from him. We wanted him to be out there because I think overall he's done a very good job of separating offense and defense and playing a good, solid defensive third base for us. But given the situation, this is strictly health-related, that we've got to get him right.
Jose Iglesias makes the start at third base tonight. Played one game in Pawtucket, but had been working out there a bit before that one game. What were the reports on how he handled that position down in Pawtucket?
Well, limited look, obviously, but the 4 days leading up to the game played there, just talking with Gary DiSarcina, just felt like he took to the position naturally. He's a very instinctual player. He's got very good reactions and reflexes, and that'll be the case more at third base than being back in the middle of the infield where he's got a little bit more time to get this pace and the speed of the ground ball that his internal clock will take over. But we feel the athleticism, we all know that he's got exceptional hands and defensive capability. And I know he'll work closely with Butter, particularly with the in-game positioning, given the situation, given the type of hitter that's at the plate. So we feel very good about his defensive capability at third.
And you bring back Alfredo Aceves, obviously a 3-inning start last night. So was this at this point strictly because you need some help out there in the bullpen in case you get another short start?
We do, Tom. In the event that for something unforeseen that might happen with John Lackey, we want to be sure that we protected ourselves and not overexpose the bullpen at length again. So we're a little out of balance as far as the roster goes, carrying 13 pitchers and the 8 relievers right now. So we feel like in time. And hopefully in short time that we'll get back into balance and get that 12-man pitching staff back in order.